I am a mic stand. Mic stand.
So the question is, if we fight to leave the EU, would that help vaping?
Okay, in the short term, no. In the longer term, yes. Apparently, if we vote Brexit on the 23rd of June, it'll take 2 years to get out of Europe. Once we're out of Europe, then we are a sovereign state. If we are a sovereign state, then we get to talk to our MPs, and we don't have 27 other member states interfering in what they decide. And I'm here to tell you now that the Department of Health does not want to do the TPD. And I think if we leave, it's not the only reason I think we should leave, but I think if we leave, within 3 years we can get rid of it. And that's good news. Is that good news?
Would you suggest that everybody votes yes on the exit?
I would say vote leave. Would I say vote leave? Hell yeah. Next question.
So the question is, are you concerned on the black market, and how is the government going to police the black market?
They're not going to police the TPD. Never mind the black market. Look, bottom line on it is, there will be a black market. It will be highly organised. You are probably standing beside somebody who will be part of that now. Indeed, you'll all probably be ringleaders. Hands up if you'll be a ringleader. Yeah, there you go. Look, there is going to be a black market in 72 milligram juice. Anybody that says different is telling porky pies. The Department of Health is aware of that. Trading standards are aware of that. Everybody's aware of that. But I don't expect to see too much, if any, enforcement. That's not to say go and advertise it on eBay. Don't do that. Don't advertise it on eBay. But if there is a black market, we all have friends, except me. We all have friends, and we all know how we can help our friends, do we not? The one thing I will say though, please, if you get involved in that, please, 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 don't bring pure nicotine. Don't bring 99%. And I'll tell you for why. At 100%, nicotine is quite safe to handle. At 99%, it is deadly. And I'm not joking about now. So don't do the 100, do the 72, and as far as I'm concerned for the black market, hell yes!
By the way, you can ask any questions, technical questions. We have Matt here that has a lot of expertise on technology. You kind of look like Phil Busardo, but like an older version as well. So you can ask any question that you want.
I am not that fat.
The question is, will they still be able to DIY?
Yeah, but you'll only be able to get 20 milligram base legally, and it will only come in 10 milliliter bottles. Them's the rules. It's a nasty frown. We don't like that. We're working hard to try and change it, but we need all of your voices. So, look, bottom line, anything with nicotine in, maximum 10 ml bottle, maximum 20 milligrams. So if you can DIY with that, great. If you're on 3 milligram, you could get 40 milligrams out of a 10 ml bottle. It's pants, isn't it? Loads of crap, but that's the way it is, I'm afraid, yeah.
I got a question from the organizer, which was a question that we brought up last night during the TPD compliance. Are they going to be able to use drippers?
Yeah. Right, now, drippers. Who here has a dripper? By show of hands, when your dripper arrived in its box, was it in bits? Put your hands up if you say yes. That's good. Because if it's in bits, it's like Meccano. It's a kit, right? So, manufacturers and vendors, if you're listening, don't send them out assembled. If there's a coil in and the lid's on and the chuff cap's there, so all you need to do is screw it in, drip it and vape it, that would not be legal, unfortunately, because it isn't a tank. But if it's in bits, if it's a kit like Lego, no S, or Meccano, then you're fine, and it doesn't even need to be notified. So yes, if your local shop, if where you're buying from knows what they're talking about, you can get any dripper you like as a kit. No problems there.
License, well, yes.
has there been more conclusive research on the safety of electronic cigarettes?
More conclusive. The Royal College of Physicians, I think, was extremely conclusive. I did a show on that last Thursday night, and we've had a message back from John Britton that basically said, way to go, guys. The Royal College of Physicians has looked at it in great depth. The 95% figure? Nah. 97% or even higher. There are no known harms from e-cigs. That's how simple it is. Point everybody at that, you won't go far wrong.
I have a better solution for you. How many people here feel better when they quit smoking using vaping? That's all the evidence that I need. Question from over there, what's going to happen to shows like this after the implementation of the TBD?
Okay. What's going to be made illegal or against the rules is the promotion of e-cigs in a commercial context. This, however, is a market. Everybody's selling. You can't ban a market. So as far as I am concerned, and I've asked the head of implementation at the Department of Health the question outright, so to the best of my knowledge, Vapor Expo next year can, should, and I hope will happen. October this year. A second one. Another Vapor Expo in October this year! And trust me guys, I'll work with these lads that are putting this on to make sure they can do it. I'm there for them and I'm there for you. Any more?
Anybody want to ask about Matt's dry knuckles? Just want to make sure we put that out.
Are you getting enough electrolytes?
Yeah, but that's because I eat like shit and I'm lazy, not because of vaping.
Yeah, okay. MetMods. There's a MetMod question, hang on.
What are your views on CBD as an alternative to nicotine?
CBD, cannabidiol oils. I don't see it as an alternative to nicotine. I see it as a very, very nice addition to nicotine. Who's with me? Right, look, just to get everybody knowing where we're at with this one. CBD is perfectly legal in the UK because there's no THC. It doesn't have a psychoactive effect. It has a very relaxing, muscle relaxing effect. So anybody that thinks they might get into bother by buying any CBD juices, you won't. It's fine. And I'm here to tell you, yeah, it's nice. It's all good. CBD's all good. CBD's all good.
Right, question. McMod, did you answer McMods?
McMods, what's the question? McMods, they're just a battery holder. Torches aren't banned. You want a mech? Have a mech. You just put a battery in it and use it. It's that easy. They're not even notifiable. So mech mods, no battery power, no battery unit. It doesn't matter whether it's mech, whether it's a ruler, or what. It doesn't matter what it is. There's no notification required. They're just batteries. They're effectively torches with a buggered up bulb. If you understand my journey. So you're all good with all of that. No problem at all. Any more for any more?
I got a question for Matt, since he gets to see a lot of product. He's one of the most popular reviewers on YouTube. What can we anticipate to see as far as innovation that we haven't seen so far when it comes to devices and tanks?
God, you had to ask me a tough one. I think that stuff goes in cycles, but it also comes full circle. I mean, I still like what you've been preaching, and I agree with you. We are going to see more mouth-to-lung stuff. I mean, you see, still the most popular mouth-to-lung tank is almost, 3 years old now? So I think we're going to see more of those types of clearimizers. It's a lot of the same. This year has been a little stale. Last year we knew, box mods and sub-ohm tanks, but that's a tough question. If I knew that, I'd be really fucking rich right now.
All right, we take a couple more. Any question? Any question? Give it that both parts are facing
given that both countries, US and of course in the EU market, are facing the same challenges, is there any cooperation by the advocacy organizations from both sides of the pond to achieve the common goal of keeping vaping around?
Jimmy, how long have you and I worked together?
It's 4 years.
It's 4 years Jimmy and I have worked together. I go along with Kevin at VP Live as well. I've been invited to go across to the States and speak over there. I'm happy to do that. These guys have demonstrated their happiness to be here and help us out today. And I think both Matt and Jimmy deserve a huge round of applause from England, Scotland, Ireland and Wales. Come on! You guys ought to be pumped up that these guys have come across to help, because they're good at what they do. And I do not look like Phil Basardo. Not even a little bit. I'd have to kneel down. Phil's a good friend, by the way. Yeah, look, we need worldwide advocacy. Let me tell you something. Have you heard of the Global Forum on Nicotine? No. This happens in Warsaw every June, and it's a gathering of experts in nicotine. From the New Nicotine Alliance through the Linda Bulls, the John Brittons, the Clive Bates. Everybody's heard of Clive Bates? I call him Master, he doesn't like it. We get together in Warsaw, and this year one of the topics of conversation for the consumer advocacy groups is a worldwide e-cig advocacy organisation fighting for everybody. And what we need is your voices behind that. Not just yours, but voices in every country in the world, because, okay, the UK is going to be okay, we're going to be alright, we'll get by. But there are other countries that are going to go under the hammer and down the pan. They need our help, and we've got to give it. Are you with me on that? Yeah. Are you with me on that? There you go. And that includes America now.
But the truth is, no matter where you're from, whether you're British, American, black, white, Asian, gay, doesn't make a difference where you're from, our lungs are the same. And our lungs deserve to be healthier with this product. So we all have to fight together. This is a global war, okay? Got a question right there, huh? What's going to happen to UK-based YouTube reviewers?
All right, how many of them are there here? Put your hands up if you're a YouTube reviewer. All right, let me give you the hints on this one, and I don't want to bore everybody else, so I'm going to be real quick. The one thing you can't do is promote. You have to be factual about the product that you're looking at. You can say where it came from and who produces it. Don't mention the price, and don't recommend anything. But you can say, if it has become your all-day vape for the last month, you can say that, because that's true and factual, and let your audience pull from that what you actually mean. But you couldn't, for argument's sake, say, I've been vaping on this new tank for the last 3 days, it does blah, does this, does that, does the other. I love the colour, I think it's great, and I would recommend you get one. That last bit you can't say, that's promotional. And what's going to happen is the Advertising Standards Authority is sitting there with its wicket keeper's gloves on, waiting for Martin McKee and Simon Capewell and the other wankers, sorry, the other academics, to make the complaints to the ASA. When they do, then the ASA will have to act. But one thing you need to be aware of is that the first network that is going to be attacked, this has already been confirmed, will be Vapor Trails TV. So we'll take one for the team and get the buggers sorted out. But just be careful out there, guys, be careful. You should be alright, but just be careful.
Yes. Okay.
What's going to happen with Facebook groups concerning vaping?
That's down to Zuckerberg. There's nothing legal that the UK can do to censor any Facebook groups. Zuckerberg might take a different view, because frankly the man's off his trolley. I didn't say that. You never heard it. I would never say that. Cut that out of the video, Matt. No, the Facebook groups again ought to be fine. You can say what you like because you are in a joined group. It's kind of a private club, and it's not out there for the public to see. If you're at all worried, make it a private group. and then people have to ask to join. Otherwise, I can't see there being a problem. There's no problem with Twitter. There's no problem with any of these social networks. You should be okay. It's free speech, after all, and we still have that.
Here's a question that I have. There's a lot of U.S. liquid manufacturers in this room today, and there's a lot of buyers, and there's a lot of vapors. What's going to happen to the importation of U.S. liquid into the EU? The steps that the manufacturers have to take, and what should the buyers here and the vapors look out for?
Oh God, this is such a long one. Right. I'll keep it as quick as I can. If a United States juice manufacturer wants to come into the UK and has footprint in the UK, physical footprint, then they have to abide by all the rules. If they don't have physical footprint in the UK, and because they can't advertise to the UK via the normal channels, if you then choose to buy from abroad, 120ml bottles, 180ml bottles, you're going to pay some duty. That's about the size of it. But there is no ban order on imports of nicotine-containing e-liquids into the UK. Not at present, and there is no intention to put one on. So you should be able to buy juices from the US for the next 2 years, depending on the FDA. Yeah? You can buy. I'm sorry, I really feel for you guys over there, because what's happened with the FDA absolutely stinks. Hey? You're fucked. You're fucked. And given anybody that's from Texas is fucked even more, because everything's bigger in Texas. I'm sorry to use language like that, but it's the best way to put it. The ants are fucked, we need to help them. So yeah, you can buy from the States. I will. You'll be there for 2 years. And you got to get the money together. All of the American e-cig companies have got to get the money together and get it to court. You can do that. Fight it. Fight long, hard and proud. And Jimmy's having a conversation. The alternative, of course, is if the American juice companies want to come to England and work, we'll have you. We'll have you. Yeah, you can come. You can come. We'll have you. Creamy flavours, CBD, Texas Gold.
How about retailers advertising your product? Not manufacturers, retailers that are selling your products.
Right. Retailers advertising, point of sale advertising is fine. Billboard advertising is fine. Get this, you can advertise on the back and sides of a bus as long as it doesn't cross the channel. If it crosses the channel, it's cross-border. But if it's not cross-border, billboard advertising, that kind of stuff, that's all good. It's absolutely fine. There will be more advice coming out of the Advertising Standards Authority within the next 2 weeks, because this happens on May the 20th. That's the only bit that happens on May the 20th, really. Keep tuned in to vaportrails.tv. As soon as I've got the info, I'll be putting it on the shows. And for information, Thursday coming, we'll be talking about exactly what's going on now in as much detail as I can get. And if I can get one of the people from the Department of Health on the show, I shall. Easy URL, e6.live. Dead easy. e6.live. Tune in, 8:30. We'll be there. Matt will be there. That'll be good. There's another question.
Does CBD come out when you do drug or alcohol tests?
Yeah. Yes. It depends on what they're testing for. If they're testing for the full range, then it will, because the cannabidiol is in there, and its half-life is something like 18 hours, I think. So depending on how much you've had. You're not a policeman, are you? No, because I know quite a few bobbies that use CBD and stop for 5 days before their monthly check. Just so you know.
I will be selling people starter urine after the show. Come see me if you want. I got a really special on a couple of liters.
You've been taking the piss out of Phil for ages, haven't you? More questions coming.
if a tank is supplied in a kit, it still comes under the TBD, correct? And here's a present for you too. I don't know what it is.
It's the 250 milligram stuff as well. Thank you. That's going straight in the tank. That's going straight in the tank. Cheers, man. Will do. Right, tanks. Again, if it's in kit form, if you think about it, if a tank has no atomizer in it, and there's no tube on it, and there's no base, and there's no top, because they're all separate, then it's a kit. It is a kit. And extension kits are just kits, they're not tanks. There may be room for trading standards to look at it and go, it's obviously a tank, I wouldn't take a chance. But certainly, there's no reason why a 2mm tank can't have a 5mm, 8mm, 10mm extension tank on it. That's the way that stands. But again, we'll go into great detail on the shows moving up to May 20th and November 20th.
This is a great question, and this is something that we deal with a lot in the United States with Matt, some of the branding. How is the TBD going to handle, or are they authorized to handle, copyright infringement, crossover branding, and some of the products that we've seen, obviously, in these last shows?
Well, first off, crossover branding is not allowed. So if BAT wanted to brand up an e-cig as whatever, or if Philip Morris wanted to brand it as a Marlboro, that's not allowed. That's officially verboten. But anybody flogging a juice that passes itself off as another brand, and I think we all know what we're talking about. I'm not going to mention them because I don't want to give them oxygen. They are breaking all kinds of rules and laws, and quite frankly, nobody should be buying from them anyway. And frankly, the sooner Ben & Jerry's takes a certain company to court, the better I'll be pleased. Are you all with me on that? Then please don't buy from the bastards. I nearly said, no, I don't want to do that. This lady's present.
This is a question from Matt, finally. Gentleman wants to know, how did you get into vaping?
That's a good question, actually. I had oral cancer, and so it wasn't like really bad. We caught it early, but that's what really finally. I had quit a few times before that, and it just, for like a year or two, and it never stuck. And so that finally is what propels me into starting to vape. And even then, I got a blue kit, and I went back to smoking for a few months even after that, after I knew I was prone to cancer. So it just shows how strong the addiction is. But thankfully, it's been 3 years, I think, since I've had a cigarette. So.
Any more for any more? Any questions anywhere? No? No? Right. Oh, yes, there. Then I want to teach you all something that I want you to do every day.
The question is for new up-and-coming companies, small juice makers that started with DIY and now they're trying to break into the business. How will the TBD affect them with the upcoming regulations?
Okay, they will have to comply obviously with the TPD, which means bottle size and so on. The testing, toxin emissions testing, will have to be done, but after we've spoken with the Department of Health and MHRA, the MHRA has decided that we do not have to test every nicotine concentrate of every flavour. So if you've got banana, pecan, maple, dog turd juice in 3, 6, 9, 12, 15 and 18, you only need to test the 18. So you don't have to pay for the testing on all the rest. That's dropping the price down. After consultation with you, the Vapers, and with all of the interested parties, the cost for notifying dropped from £220 down to £150. One more time. Thank you, NNA. So that's where it stands. It's about as inexpensive as it can be, certainly cheaper than Belgium, where they've got to test every last iteration of the juice and then pay €4,000 per SKU to notify it. Belgium is hooked.
And I think it's important to say that the TBD is a revolving regulation. It'll take 2 or 3 years to finalize everything. So the more pressure that you, the voters, and the citizens of the EU put on your politicians and on the TBD, some of the things might change eventually. If they see that there's a lot of pressure on the 10 mil restriction, maybe a 30 mil will be allowed because the 10 mil really doesn't make any sense. So keep that in mind. What we see now is not finalized, and it will keep evolving over the next 2 or 3 years as the product's in the market. All right, any more questions before we go?
Just quick one about labelling.
Just to clarify this one about labelling. Yes, e-liquids will have to carry a bloody health warning in black text, Helvetica, on a white background with a black border taking up 30% of the bottle, and every bottle of e-liquid will have to come with a leaflet that has, get this, instructions for use. I'm not entirely certain that drip some, talk it will work, but that's basically the size of it, so there'll be that. Are we nearly done? Can I teach them what I want to teach them? Any more questions? Alright, people, I want you to put your left hand like this and repeat after me. Vape on! Vape hard! And don't let the bastards grind you down!
Give it up for David Dorn, Vapor Trails TV and New Nicotine Alliance. Matt and V came all the way down here from the States, from Suck My Mod. I'm Dimitri. Thank you guys. We love being here. We want to thank the organizers for putting on a hell of an event again. And thank you so much for having us.
Can we give it up for them one more time? I need you as loud as possible for these 3 individuals, man. They're doing what they can to help save your life today. Making sure we can still do this.